Alright, hello everybody. We'd like to give an update here for Jackson County. Big mess if you're up around Hytop, Skyline, some really heavy winds coming in there. There is a special weather statement just put out. It's going in effect for 37 more minutes. It was issued out at 5:25. Areas impacted will be Hytop, Francisco, Jericho, Estill, Fort, Maxwell, Belvidere, and Larkin. Some 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible out of that storm there. A lot of frequent lightning too. Right now, just a big outflow boundary mess coming in here. Just a big old mess with these storms just pretty much firing outflow back and forth at each other. One of the stronger areas of outflow that I've seen from these storms today is going to be approaching Skyline. So some 40-mile-per-hour winds every bit possible with that big mess there. That cell is trying to track on off toward, looks like it's going north, very close to Huntland. But yeah, just look at these things shooting these outflow boundaries off, just absolutely insane. We've got a current outflow boundary coming through Fayetteville, Tennessee. This system here, if it does make it this far south, could definitely influence thunderstorm activity across the area. Now this is looking at Jackson County, and that line is moving south toward Pleasant Groves after it has collided with the system in Henniger, which produced an outflow boundary. Gust front now trying to develop into another shower there near Pisgah. It's just a big mess out there. It's like a war zone right now. But continue to watch this boundary here coming across Skyline. It's one of the stronger ones at the moment, overtaking the rest of them, as you can see. That's moving south, going toward Pleasant Groves. Eventually, we'll probably make it to Pleasant Groves, Paint Rock, Scottsboro, Hollywood, maybe as far down as Dutton section, Langston, and then possibly into northern parts of the Cab. It'd be nice if it comes through here and we get some storms out of this, because we really need the rain down here. Everything is just seems like it's doing its best to avoid us. We're also looking at some of this scattered activity further southeast over parts of Georgia there, and it's kind of moving northwest. So it'd be nice if we could get some pop-up showers of storms in southwestern portions of the Cab where we haven't had any rainfall. So just keeping an eye on this. Let's look at the velocity scan here. Some pretty intense winds there showing up. So yeah, we'll say 40 to 50. This really close to the radar. It's not showing out correctly. But I can tell you this, that looks like a microburst almost, or a downburst. That's what I'm seeing here. So I believe we do have a downburst or microburst that has occurred over Jackson County near the Hytop area. That is spreading out and going south towards Skyline, and that's exactly what we've got here. We've got a downburst, so a pretty classic example of a downburst here. Took away the storm motion, so let's add the storm motion back with it. Or no, let's take away the storm motion. So yeah, some very high winds, pretty classic example of a downburst here. You can see those winds going away from radar. You can see them hitting the ground and just twirling all around. And that's what we've got here, just a big outflow downburst here going all the way into New Market. So some 40-mile-per-hour winds, maybe higher over Hytop. Just a big downburst going on there. Let's look at it on the reflectivity scan here. So yeah, you can visually see that downburst. Just look at that all around there. You can just see it explode out. So these things are producing a lot of downbursts today. So there could be some damaging winds right in there. I wouldn't rule out that there wasn't some damaging winds, especially right in there with that. Let's look at the correlation coefficient. And yeah, you can see the debris come up, which is, dust and stuff like that flying up from that downburst. Just look at that. Just a big old downburst. Yeah, this one over Eider wasn't quite as intense, or Henniger wasn't as intense as this one was. So you have just a big downburst of wind. So if you're in Skyline, you got some gusty winds coming your way. Probably 20 miles per hour, 30 miles per hour. Looks like the highest of the winds hit right near Hytop. They're very close to the radar, almost right on top of it. So a good little downburst, all that spreading out going toward Huntland. Could have some 40-mile-per-hour winds higher over the Huntland area, and all that's just spreading out going south towards Skyline. Not picking up any damaging winds at the moment, but there could definitely be some trees down and stuff like that, like we see in Henniger with this. Seeing some 30s in there, so possibly some 20 to 30-mile-an-hour winds coming toward Henniger with this gust downburst. With the highest of the winds, of course, going toward, looks like Huntland over in Tennessee. So yeah, very good example of what a downburst looks like. And it's not the only one that produced a downburst. Now this little cell here did too. And you can see that right there. And we got another cell developing along that outflow there. Wow, look at this. It's a war zone out there. But yes, the storms this weekend are looking like they're going to be the same way as the ones lately. Just lots of gusty winds. Just look at these explode out. They almost look like nuclear warheads going off. Just look at that. They just dissipate. So what you're seeing is all that is just falling apart, going to the ground, bam. Just spreading out in all directions. So very high winds, of course, some 20 to 30. Wouldn't rule out some higher gusts than that over around Hytop. I wouldn't doubt if some of those got up to 50 over there. Enough to put some trees down, maybe a little bit of roof damage, depending on where it actually hit at. So we're just keeping an eye on all this kind of going south. The strongest area, the boundary of this boundary, anyways, near Skyline. Another intense boundary coming in now from Fayetteville, but it still looks like it's being overtaken by this big boundary here that's developed. So really intense boundary. I'm starting to see some storms develop behind that near Pleasant Groves is where it's approaching now. So we've got a little bit of development there. Let's look at chat really quick here. Hey, hon. Glad to see you watching. Sorry, just now brought the chat up. But yeah, just look at this. Looks like a nuclear warhead's exploding out there. Out of control brush fire in Rainsville with all this coming through. That's not going to be good. So I'm not 100% sold that this boundary is going to make it this far south, but I am watching this one here along the Tennessee, entering into Alabama, Hazel Green area. Oops. 28 more minutes on this special weather statement, and it's pushing on into Tennessee. Let's move it, get a little scan on it. It's a pretty intense little gust front right here. It's actually pulling some dust up into it. You can see that by the bright colors there. So we've got some gusty winds along that going toward the Hazel Green area. It's pulling a lot of dust up. Boundary after boundary after boundary. My goodness, I'll be glad when some of this gets here. Hello, Brenda from Fife. Janice, I'm sorry. Brenda from Dawson. Janice from Fife. Correction. Sorry about that. Hello, Jamie from Sullivan, Alabama. Again, hopefully you're doing good. It is cool to see these things fighting like that. It's just, it's like another little something trying to fire off there north of Guntersville there. The little boundary or something that just popped up out of nowhere there. Got some damage reports over in, I think that's Addersville, I'm sorry. Tree fell on a car per emergency management in city of Addersville. So, yeah, this is stuff we're really watching now. These storms are producing some big-time downburst. We just need the rain. I mean, they can keep the downburst. We need the rain, especially in the southwest portion of DeKalb County and Marshall County, even, Jackson County, too. They're getting a lot of activity right now near Hytop. New development now along this boundary, just to the south, looks like to the northwest of Skyline there. And this main boundary now approaching Pleasant Groves. It's overtaking the rest of them because it's the most powerful at the moment. And kind of fingers crossed that this boundary approaching from the northwest right here will overtake this one and push it further southeast. And if it will, we might get some thunderstorm activity down here over parts of Marshall County and also maybe DeKalb County, southwest portion. But yeah, just take a look at this. Just like pretty much everywhere is getting rain and storms. Pretty much except portions of DeKalb County southwest portion. I mean, of course, that's over in Mississippi. There's a good bit of thunderstorm activity to the northwest and west of us earlier, but we haven't had any rainfall here in the southwest portion of DeKalb County. Not even a drop. Everywhere else has had rain just about. Well, that's just not good. But yeah, people, don't get out there burning. I mean, stuff like this is annoying, when you're warning people about burning, about the humidity levels, which the humidity's came back, but it's just too dry. Like, don't burn, because you end up burning people's houses down and their power lines and poles down. And we just got the report over the radio there that there was a power pole on fire. So, yeah, it's just not worth it. And for goodness sakes, if you burn, don't leave it like these folks did. No, the storms have no clue which way they want to go at all. Like, I don't know where they're going to go either. You can just pretty much follow the boundary. They're all wanting to go northwest. So, they're firing along the boundaries and they're just going northwest after that. So I'm hoping we get some down here. So far, that's not happened. We've got the gust front, the breeze from it coming through right now. The one earlier, so it takes time to get through here. They don't move very fast, but this one here in Jackson County is moving pretty quick. We got a 3-mile-per-hour wind out of the south-southeast, which is exactly where that little boundary came from there. You can't even see it on radar anymore, but I could find it, most likely. May have to use a few little tools here to try to find it. Okay, yeah, it's invisible at this point, but yeah, right in there is where that boundary's at. It's actually moved a little bit further forward. That's actually what we're seeing here. There's another boundary there, and what's left of this boundary right here is what we're getting some breeze, a little bit of a breeze off of it now, but it's invisible by the reflectivity. You can't really see it at all, but you can see that little boundary there. Right there's the boundary coming through. You can see just a bit of it. Right there it is. So it's actually invisible over us, but we do get a little bit of a breeze from it. And I'm not even sure where this boundary here came from. Like, it just appeared out of nowhere. So yeah, that's pretty weird. I'm still trying to figure out where it came from. I guess we'll just call that one a ghost, because like there's not a storm anywhere that would have caused that one to develop, so I don't know where it came from. It just appeared. So I don't know how that works. The nearest storm is probably, let's see, from the boundary, which is the nearest shower activity is like 100 miles away almost. So I don't know where in the world that came from. That's pretty weird. Some strange stuff. And we got another boundary now developing off the shower activity here. And that boundary is exploding back this way. Sorry, I didn't mean to go that drastic with the arrow. But yeah, just this activity now is exploding in with this other one. So probably about to get pretty stormy there, possibly around Huntsville as it pushes on off southeast. So just insanity. May or may not get development off of this. It depends. There we go. Unfortunately, still nothing in southwest DeKalb County. It's like we got a wall up or something. It's just preventing anything from getting here. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, yeah, that is weird. That is really weird. I gotta say, that's really weird. Yeah, I'm sure you can hear the TV. Mom was watching the Waltons. I just realized the door's open, which is 80 degrees in here, so I need it open anyway. But all right, thanks everybody for watching. I'm still keeping an eye on everything. Nothing severe. 19 more minutes until this expires for the northern part of Jackson County there near Hytop. I think that's actually more toward the northwest portion of Jackson, near the Hytop area. Gusty winds could put down some trees, maybe some minor damage. Can't rule that out with any of these. I mean, there's been tree damage all across the area. Even a car was crushed over in Addersville, Georgia, when a tree fell on it. So very active. If you got trees, probably want to move your cars out from under them, due to these storms coming through there in Jackson County, especially if you're around Hytop area. Skyline, that boundary is now moving south of you, going toward Pleasant Groves. But that's about it. Just a big mess. Not going to keep everybody on forever. Just wanted to update and let you know what we got. So thanks again, everybody. Going to get off here. God bless. Take care. Stay weather aware. And again, pay attention to these storms this weekend, because some of them, or most of them, are producing downbursts, and they can do some damage unexpectedly. So thanks. Take care. Have a great rest of your evening, and have a great weekend, everybody. See you on the next one.